So you can understand me when I speak in English, but you can't understand others. So what are some of the reasons why this happens? Because it can be so frustrating for learners because you practice, you develop your listening skills, you develop your speaking skills, and then you come across someone on the street and they ask you a question and you get brain freeze and you get stuck and you're like, oh my God, I didn't understand a word that you just said. Sometimes we just glaze over because once the brain processes these words, if we are not familiar with the rhythm, with the intonation, with the pattern, then yeah, the words just kind of go over our heads and we get a little stuck. So that's why it's really important to have a lot of exposure. So exposure is the key point here, that if we've had minimal exposure with only English in a slow way, in a way that's not natural, then this is really gonna hinder us when we go into the real world and we are listening to English in this really fast-paced speed. So when people are speaking in a language, they want to be efficient, they want to be quick. That's how we've adapted over time to exchange information. So when people are speaking in a natural speaking environment, it is much faster. It's boom, 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 boom. But it really depends on people's personalities. So when I'm speaking to you, I'm not actually slowing down. Like, this is my accent. This is the speed that I use. This is the way that I talk to everybody. This is how I speak when I'm speaking with friends, when I'm speaking with family, because my voice has adapted, because I travel a lot. My wife is American, so I've had a lot of global experience. So, and I come from the southeast of England. So these are all different variables that have impacted my language and the way that I speak. If someone hasn't traveled as much or hasn't had as much global exposure, I would say that they would speak with more of a typical, like, boom, like a much faster tone. So it really depends on the person. It depends on their personality. So if someone is more composed and calm and grounded, then they're going to speak with this speed that's a little bit more controlled. If other people are a little bit more excited, or like in their mind, like they're just really trying to organize their thoughts quickly, then it's going to come out very fast and maybe a little unorganized, and then this is going to be harder to understand. So what we really want to try and do is increase our exposure level. So right now you might have had low exposure. So maybe you haven't been speaking with a teacher for a long time. Maybe you haven't lived in an English speaking country. Maybe you haven't been watching series, listening to podcasts, really trying to adapt your ear to English accents and to the way that we speak in English. So yeah, it can really feel like a big challenge because yeah, sometimes when we are learning and we listen to the native speed, the native level, we think, oh my God, how are you ever going to bridge this gap towards low exposure to high exposure? But the way you bridge it is gain more exposure. So you need to increase the amount of exposure that you get. It's going to help you develop your